this up here.
No.
All right, Tyler, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Around the 412. We are part of the Pod Hub Network. I'm Tyler, and with me as always is Smitty. Today we are joined by Steelers outside linebacker Alex Highsmith and his dad, Sam Highsmith. Guys, what's going on?
How y'all doing? Thank you for having us on.
Doing great. How are y'all?
Hey, the pleasure's on this end. We're doing great over here. We are excited to have you guys on. We saw the fans pressing for it hard, so we had to make it happen. Speak to the fans. Sam, you've been like right in there, the thick of things, the interaction. We love it. As one of our followers, Ellie said, you're like the entire fan base's dad.
Nah, it's been fun. I fortunately been involved with the social media since he's been playing, and it kind of started in Charlotte. I kind of joined in there and just kind of basically followed people. We talked back and forth. It was really cool at the games. Actually, with see these people that I was speaking with through Twitter. It's just kind of great. And so as he joined, and I just kind of started following him. Other people started following me. So it's kind of cool. Ellie's definitely one of the ones we communicate with, and it's just cool. It's just part of being something bigger than football, and definitely feels like that. Right.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get down into it. We got a lot of questions for both of you, some of you individually. But let's start with Alex. I actually ask everybody that comes on here this question, no matter what sport they are in, what league they're in. What was the draft process like for you?
Draft process, it was awesome. The whole draft process I started in Arizona, went up to Exos to train out there. That whole experience was just truly, two of the best months of my life, being out there in Arizona and training, with some of the best guys in the country. And, just not only getting better physically for the combine, but, also, eating right. Our nutrition, we were eating so healthy, like a steak was a cheat meal, like it was crazy. So it was that whole process in Arizona was so awesome. And also the Shrine Bowl as well. It was just a great experience to be down there in Tampa with some of the best players in the country and get that NFL exposure and experience there. And that was awesome as well. And, the combine was just, was just an awesome experience. It's just a time I've been dreaming about, since I've been a kid. And so just be able to go there and just showcase my talents and, show the coaches, what I could do, which is so awesome. So, I went there with the chip on my shoulder, that didn't matter that I was from a small school, I knew that I belonged there. And so I went at that chip on my shoulder and just, put up my best foot forward. And then after that, just really things, kind of got switched up, because of COVID and everything like that. So the last 2 months, were kind of different. I was going to fly out to Pittsburgh for an official visit, but, ended up just having Zoom calls with everybody, had a Zoom call with Coach Tom and Mr. Colbert. So that was awesome. So it was just an awesome draft process, just thankful that, I took the journey that I did.
Right. Well, I was about to ask too. I mean, you mentioned with the Steelers. So was there a lot of communication then leading up to the draft with the Steelers? Like you had a good idea that they could pick you?
It wasn't. It actually, when we FaceTime, when I was supposed to visit, I think it was in April. I'm pretty sure early April. That was the first time they had talked to me.
Okay.
The scouts came to all of my camp practices and stuff like that, but I wasn't in communication with them at the Shrine Bowl or at the Combine. And, they're a team that I really want to go to. So, I was kind of saying, kind of question myself, they interested in me and stuff like that. But, after that Zoom call with Coach Tom and Mr. Colbert, I was like, I knew, they were interested in me. And so, I'm just so glad to be Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Now, are there any other teams that you thought could draft you that showed a lot of interest in you?
Yeah, there was probably about, probably say that besides the Steelers, it was probably the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Giants, and a couple more, probably the main ones that were looking at me. So more of those 3-4 teams.
Okay. Now this one's for both of you. What did you know about the Steelers as an organization before, Alex, you became a Steeler?
I mean, I knew they were one of the best organizations in the NFL, historically. Just, the history of them, just there's so many Steeler greats and Steeler legends, me, Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Jack Lambert, for my position. And, just I remember, I grew up a Panthers fan. And I remember in 2018, it was a Thursday night football game. And it was the Panthers like 6-2, and I'm pretty sure the Steelers were 5-2 at the time. And I remember going to that game, and a couple of my roommates were Steelers fans. I was like talking trash to them, and ended up whooping the Panthers. And I just watching that game, I was like, okay, that's a heck of an organization. And so I'm just blessed to truly be a part of the best organization in the NFL. And so, but yeah, I didn't know like too many players, but I definitely know that the history is rich in this program. So I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, my memory goes back to the late 70s, early 80s. My high school time, just going into college, I definitely knew of the great Steelers teams, and I was a Rams fan. I remember sitting there thinking we were actually going to win that game. I think that was the 80 Super Bowl. And it didn't really work out that well, but I have a lot of good friends, co-workers. My good friend Sam Ketchowitz is an administrator here in New Hampshire County like me. Rabbit Steelers fan. His office was just stacked with Steelers and Pirates and all the things, all these things. I was like, what is this? And I just got to know more people, and I just realized this is definitely a nationwide phenomenon. Kind of, it's crazy. And one of the things, me as a parent, wanted him to be part of an organization that was solid. And like I said, I was administrator, school administrator, so I understand just how that's set up and how your school and your organizations are kind of all connected when there's good, strong leadership up top. And obviously the Rooney family and Coach Tomlin is amazing. And personally, I'm very, very happy that he has an opportunity to learn from Coach Tomlin. So that's been,
Right.
I never was a super Steelers fan, but I always respected him, but I always had a lot of admiration for him.
Right. So we saw, Alex, your reaction on draft night kind of go viral, get amped up, jump off the couch. Sam, for you, what was it like seeing your son get drafted?
As it got closer, I kept saying, okay, well, how am I going to react? I didn't really know. We had some people at the house, very small number. We had 2 Zoom meetings going on. So trying to communicate with my parents, my mother, my family rather. My mother couldn't come down. She's older. So with the coronavirus, we couldn't have her here with everyone else. But as he picked the phone up and told everyone to kind of quiet down, just kind of the heart started racing a little bit. And then I remember when he put his head into his hand, I think he was talking to Coach Tomlin at the time, you knew it was real then. It was just like, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. Having to hold that in until he got off the phone was kind of tough. But there were a lot of very, very wonderful tears that night. And the dream, obviously, to get to this point where so few do who played from pot 1 on, but and to know it was with this organization. And I mean that I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you guys. I've said that with so many people here in town. That's big. It's big.
Right. Yeah, we had somebody just pop into the live chat now. And this kind of goes along with like the culmination of such a long process. He said, ask Sam, at what age was Alex when he started to realize like this could be a possibility for his son?
I'm answering this?
Yes.
I will probably say later than him. I will say, so we're talking NFL. I thought it was a real possibility at the end of his red shirt freshman year.
Okay.
And he's told stories. I'm not going to retell the story of just how he developed. And you guys might ask more specific questions about that. But when he actually got on the field, and he was very productive. He was playing behind one of his best friends. But when he got reps, very productive. I said, this guy needs to be on the field. As I said to myself as a parent. And the funny thing was, he was so confident. He came home and talked to us. And I remember we were having some conversation. He mentioned something about when I get to the league. And I didn't make any facial expression. I told myself, man, you got some big dreams there, buddy. But we just talked through it, and he knew then. So I think it was a combination of those 2 things. Like, I knew it was a possibility.
Right. Okay. We actually had another person come in. This is a little bit less serious note here. I don't know where they are, like geographically. Have either of you ever had a Permane sandwich yet?
Nope. I'm excited to have one. I'm so excited to have one.
See, if this COVID wasn't going on yet, you would have been in Pittsburgh at some point already. Would have.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have, because I remember I watched like a video like when TJ Watt got drafted. They took him like around the city and stuff like that. Took the Marion Brothers. There's only one problem. I don't like tomatoes, so
Me
I'm gonna
either.
have to order it, but probably take the tomato off.
What about coleslaw?
See, I like some coleslaw. I mean, a lot of coleslaw I don't like, but hey, if they got good coleslaw, I like it.
Yeah, that's what people say. Like, even people that don't like coleslaw like theirs. They use like an apple cider vinegar.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
it's probably good. I can't wait to try them.
Yeah,
my wife loves coleslaw, so I'm sure she can't wait to try one of those things.
Pastrami, right?
What's that?
It's pastrami's the meat.
I mean, you can get pastrami. There's a bunch of different ones.
You can get a ton of different meats.
Gotcha.
But
everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's also another sandwich place that we also like to recommend to people.
Oh, here we go.
It's called Pepe's. It's also in Pittsburgh. But
Okay.
yeah, and theirs is more like a sub, but it's also amazing.
Peppies,
another
if you're
Pittsburgh
listening to the
classic.
show, sponsor us. This is like the 5th time we brought you up.
Yeah, if you walk into their restaurants, their walls are just lined with like photos of like either athletes or like celebrities, and
That's
it's
awesome.
just people that come visit that place.
That's awesome. Definitely gonna have to try that one too.
So another person popped in here, and they asked if you went about where you thought you would, like pick wise in the draft.
Yeah, I think I did. That's where I was projected. I was projected to go in the late 3rd round. So I knew that, around that time of the night, that, one of the teams, like within that 100, one of those compensatory picks, that was probably going to pick me up. So that's where I was projected, mid-3rd, late 3rd. So, I definitely, got drafted where I thought I was going to.
Okay. So now your recruitment to Charlotte, how much interest was there in you coming out of high school from other universities? Like, what was the decision like to end up going there?
Yeah, so there only other interests I had besides Charlotte. Well, really the main interest I had was Davidson and Furman. Those are 2 main schools that are looking at me. So Davidson's SCS school right above Charlotte, Lake Norman area, Mooresville, and then Furman down in Greenville, South Carolina. And both of them had interest in me. Davidson's the first one that I visited, but I did enjoy visiting that school and I liked it, but it's they don't offer athletic scholarships, I'm pretty sure, and so it's one of the hardest schools to get into in the state. I had a good GPA in high school, like a 4.4, but my test scores just really weren't like that caliber. So because it's like as hard as get to it is like a Duke or something like that. So it ended up getting in there. And Furman, I'm pretty sure Furman, offered me like a partial scholarship, and it's super expensive to go there out of state. So even if I would have went there for that partial, I probably would have been paid more than I paid at Charlotte. So, but Charlotte really, we kind of reached out to them. So, like they showed interest. They sent me like a letter to I guess to come to their camp and stuff like that. And I went to the camp, the prospect camp this December before, and they said, I was on the board, but probably wasn't going to be a scholarship guy, but really reached out at the time. Our rival high school in Wilmington was Hoggard High School, and their head coach was his name was Scott Braswell, and his son at the time, Scotty Braswell Jr., was a GA at Charlotte, and I reached out to coach, and I was like, hey, is there any way you can pass my film on to your son, pass on to Coach Lambert, the staff, possibly give me a chance, something like that. So he ended up doing that. Ended up inviting me up to, to see a spring practice and then see the spring game. And I knew they were interested in me, but I didn't know it was going to be the team at that point. And I finally found out I was going to be on the team so originally I was going to room with some of my best friends from high school, but I found out that I was going to be on the team through an email saying that my dorm got switched to the football dorm. That's kind of how I found out. So I didn't do any signing or anything like that. I found out like that. Ended up coming the first day of school. Didn't even go to camp my freshman year. Didn't even make the first 105. And, just came in day one, just worked my butt off and just made the most of my opportunity.
That's crazy, man. So so the interest or lack thereof, that has to be where that chip on the shoulder comes from.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Just trying to prove people wrong. Just go out there and just be the best that I can be every single day. So that's how I play too. It's always how I'm going to play. Like to say, I have a walk-on mentality. A lot of people don't have it. So that's really what gives me an edge in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that a lot of people say about you when they watch you on film or you training is that you have like this motor and that it just keeps going. Is that where that kind of drive comes from? Is just that original source? Yeah.
I mean, I've always played the game like that, and I mean, I really just everything I do, I do it all for the glory of God. My faith is what's most important in my life. Colossians 3:23. One of my favorite Bible verses says, whatever you do, in word or deed, do it all for the Lord. And so it's really, I know since I prayed for the opportunity, to be able to play college football and be able to play in the NFL, and so that's why I go so hard, because God has blessed me with the ability to play this game and the talent to play this game. It's I feel like it's disrespectful to Him, to not give him all every time I'm out there. So that's how I really approach my work.
Yeah, I saw that video of you on the beach recently, and I know how hard it is to run on a beach, and your feet were moving so quick. I was so impressed.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of beach work. It's been helping me. I just feel a lot more faster when I get on the grass too, and it's great conditioning as well.
You kind of answer another question there, because actually one of our listeners, Tyler, wanted me to ask about like your connection with faith and football tying together, but you kind of answered that right in there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so moving along to, I mean, this is kind of for both of you, because I wonder what it was like seeing it. We kind of talked, Sam, you mentioned what it was like when he was able to get those reps. This last year at Charlotte, you absolutely blew up. So Sam, what was it like watching that happen? And then Alex, like, when did you just realize, like, I'm having a heck of a season, I'm putting this together, like it's finally all just coming together?
The funny thing, as you were asked that first question, I talked about the end of his redshirt freshman year, but I'll be honest, the real feeling was when we were playing at Tennessee. And that's probably his breakout game. I mean, he felt good before, but when he just tore those guys up, and I sat there telling myself, this is real. And everyone in our Charlotte crowd was kept looking at me after he do something big, and I was just killing it. Look at this. And I was like, this is really a possibility, because then I had some friends from Wilmington who lived in the Knoxville area, and they were saying, oh, you're blowing up social media. And so I started Googling him probably after that pretty much regularly. And it's just like, that was the big interest. And granted, Tennessee wasn't the Tennessee of the old years, but it still was an SEC team going against 3, 4, 5-star recruits. And he showed that he belonged. And as the senior came, we were personally disappointed and sad to see Coach Lambert leave. He's the guy who gave my son a scholarship, but we ended up being very excited. And also Coach Spence, I want to give him credit because he changed the defense that year. But then when we brought in Coach Healy, Coach West, he told me, I remember him telling me during spring, said, I'm gonna make him into, I don't know if he said NFL player, but he basically said that. And he said the numbers will go up. You'll see. He promised me, and this guy delivered. But it was crazy. And I started tracking and realized he's right up in the top 5 in the country. At one point, I think he was leading the nation in sacks.
Probably the first couple of games, I think, because I had 4 after the first couple of games. So, yeah.
So we knew it was, and definitely knew it was real. Then at that point, it was kind of like, okay, this is going to happen. At my point, there I was hoping for a late round pick. Hopefully, he can move up, but the work and the production obviously made that happen. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely knew that. I was having a good season. Especially after the first 4 games. The game 5 and 6 were kind of a rough patch for me. Those probably like 2 of my worst games of the year. But the first 4 games really were like where I kind of had a jump start to the season, had a good season. I knew that my work is being noticed. When Dabo Swinney, kind of like shouted me out like in his press conference or whatever. And so it was just really humbling to know that people were noticing the way that I play and stuff like that. To get that recognition from one of the best coaches in college football is pretty cool. So it was just really that whole season. With Coach West, he came to me at the beginning of the year when he first got there. He's like, you're not gonna like me at times, but I want to make you the best player to ever lead this building. And so he's really, I credit a lot of my, especially my sack production to him, because he taught me so much pass rush. And so the whole year was just an awesome year. And so I'm just thankful for Coach Healy and Coach West, the whole staff, just put me in that position.
Yeah. Well, Sam mentioned the Tennessee game. I was going to bring up the Clemson thing if you didn't, because like you said, Dabo Swinney said you were the toughest guy that their offensive line had to block. So, I mean, that right there is a pretty nice indictment. Also, the fact that there aren't a lot of NFL players that come out of Charlotte, is that something that you kind of like wear with pride?
Yeah, it is. When Larry came out, Larry Ogunjobi for the Browns came out a couple years ago. He kind of put us on the map. But it's I kind of wanted to just follow in his footsteps. Nate Davis got drafted last year to the Titans, and me and Ken Clark get drafted this year. Just really, we had a goal when we got there. Just look the place better than we found it. We really felt like we had. And, now Charlotte isn't. People aren't overlooking us anymore. We're better than people think, and so it's time for people to wake up. Because our school is a hidden gem, and so Coach Healy always says that, and it really is. And so we've shown now that we can produce NFL talent. Within we've had a program for 6 years and already got 4 guys drafted. So we showed we show people that we can produce NFL talent out of that school.
Right. I gotta give a shout out to Donnie Druins in here. He's a writer for All Steelers. He just did a great interview with Zach Banner that was put out yesterday. But he also asked, I don't know if this is serious. I don't know if he wants you to give an actual answer. He wants to know what you think your Madden 21 rating will be.
Madden 21 rating, shoot. Third rounders, late third round. Realistically, it's probably gonna be like a 70 or probably from the 66 to 70 range. I'm sure, because I remember I looked at guys getting drafted last year. I'm pretty sure a lot of the third round guys were like in the low 70s, high 60s range. So that's probably what it'll be. But trying to get up in the 80s, 90s soon.
Yeah, those updates.
Updates,
even though the new ones are pretty much just an update anyway. But
yeah, it's you pay $60 to get a roster update.
Yeah, true. Okay, so we kind of touched on this already, but once again, another question for both of you, because you're both have been a huge part of it already. What are your first impressions of the Steelers and their fan base?
Top notch, man. I know after he was drafted, we started looking at Instagram and Twitter and the followers, particularly Instagram. It just like boom, boom, boom. And then his girlfriend got all these follows, and I didn't get as many, but I got people starting to follow me too. And it's just like, who are these people? And I always go back and search. Okay, Pittsburgh tie, Steelers tie. That tells you that they know their football. They're not just, we like to know. They know their football. They love their football. And our son's story is just so crazy. And we're just glad people. It's amazing people have actually have seen that part of it. And very few distractors. I mean, I read all the stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I don't comment all the time, but I do read it, and very, very positive overall. So we're hoping that'll continue. And organization, that's the Rooney. That name is just synonymous with football and perfection and excellence. And so it's good to be on this side.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like I'm the best part of the best organization fan base, in the league. Just seeing all my followers go up and stuff like that. Like the night I got drafted, not only were they following me, but I had so many comments on my original post when I got drafted, just like welcome Pittsburgh, let's go. Like it just felt so much love from the fans and stuff like that. So I'm so excited to hopefully this year, fans can come. We'll see. Hoping things work out the way they can. Because I didn't know the song Renegade before I am part of the Steelers, and so got drafted by the Steelers, and I've kind of been memorize that song now, and I just can't wait to hear that and see everyone's terrible towels flying around. But this truly I feel like I play for the best fans, the best organization in the NFL, so I just can't wait to strap it up and get to work.
Yeah, we've said it multiple times to multiple guys on our show. We think that Pittsburgh fans and Steeler fans specifically, they just love their team and their athletes more than other teams in other cities.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you guys have gotten to see that firsthand.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
I mean, from the top of the bottom to the raw, because we had Derwin Gray on here just 2 weeks ago, and he was 7th round pick. He was on the practice squad all of last year. But he said even he could feel that, the fan base embraced him.
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's not just like they're embracing me already. And so it's awesome.
And part of the fun for me is just the people here in town, and several I knew before were Steelers fans and were just excited about it. And to them, I say, I think that's the team that's interested in him. I know he's interested in them. But when the pick was made and his phone, I was just blowing up. Mine was on vibrate, and I just felt boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I was talking to media people. My phone was doom, 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 doom. It was crazy.
And we had two families there. It's a mother, her husband, and her daughter, and her daughter's son are a huge Steelers fan. The mom is from Pittsburgh. They came over the next day, had their little mini parade since people couldn't really come in the house, and that was cool. And the coach, his former basketball coach, he's part of that family. So that was really cool for them. And it's like they came out of the woodwork. All these other people I work with in the school system and people I work with just being here in town were these Steelers people. And so many people came from and moved down here from there. One of my wife's and I's teaching friend at Harvard High School where we both taught. He was from Pittsburgh. Two of my teachers currently school I'm at from Pittsburgh. So yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, cool. I forgot about doing something at the beginning, so I have to have him do it now. Whoever's in the YouTube chat, I need you to comment the number 56. All right, now moving on, because we're giving away an autographed jersey.
Nice.
For TSE. So someone in the YouTube chat's going to win it, and it's going to be random. So I have to have them all comment the number 56.
So whoever comments gets it. Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, another question from the YouTube chat. This is about your technique. Do you feel more comfortable standing up or with a hand in the dirt?
When it comes to rushing the passer on third down, I feel like I'm more explosive with my hand in the dirt. Getting off the rock, I feel like I get off so much faster. Because the past 2 years I've had my hand in the dirt, so I feel like I get off much faster. But I've been working a lot on my 2-point stance as well. But really, when it's a third down situation, hopefully, I can be able to get my 3-point stance as well. But I'm excited to play back in the 2-point because I played outside linebacker my first 2 years at Charlotte, so I'm excited to get back in the 2-point. First, second down, third down. So I'm comfortable with both, but I'd have to say when it comes to truly getting off and working my moves, I feel like I'm more comfortable with the 3-point.
Okay. Yeah, because the way the Steelers use their outside linebackers, they like them to be able to drop in coverage a little bit. They talk about you being able to rush the passer and stopping the run. I didn't know how comfortable you were, if that was something you ever really did in pass coverage.
Yeah. That's one thing I've been working a lot on. Like, I have been doing so many. Like, I've really been doing a lot of DB drills too. Like, it's really every other day. It's pass rush and it's DB drills. So just really working on my footwork and working on my drops has helped me a lot. And so I'm excited to be able to get up there and line up, against you guys at practice. Just really get that work.
Awesome. Okay. So, Sam, this isn't necessarily a question, but when I say your son is a pro athlete, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
Surreal. I've said that word so many times over the last months to a year. I mean, it's crazy. It still doesn't feel 100% real because he's still been here. He has been up there and been part of that. One of the things we look forward to is going up for the press conference. We had kind of planned a after draft party, assuming he was going to get drafted confidently. He was going to get drafted Friday night. We had a place in town, and our agent said, well, you might have to go the next day. So I had that reservation telling him, there's a chance we won't be able to do this because his chance he'll be going to the city he's drafted. So that didn't have all of that. And so we know it's real, obviously, but it's not the same. I think for me, it's when he has that uniform on the first time. And I heard today the NFL is going to go to 2 preseason games. So we're really hoping the one in Charlotte is one that doesn't get taken away for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the locale and where he played. And yeah, it's probably be more Pittsburgh people than the Panther people.
Yeah.
That tends to happen all over the country. It truly is Steeler Nation.
Especially that Chargers game last year. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was about to say the Chargers game. They said it was like 80% Steeler fans in the stadium. That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
Okay, so Alex, do you have like other friends or maybe like acquaintances that have also been drafted or?
Yeah. So my team, we had one of my teammates, his left tackle Cam Clark got drafted to the Jets this past year. He's become one of my close friends. The past couple of years, we literally went against each other every single day at practice, and he was a first team all conference guy. He's truly one of the best tackles in this draft. Because I've been against him, I know how aggressive he plays. But it's just so cool to see him get drafted too. And then being LeMay, our running back, I picked up by the Browns as well. And so it's just like it's so awesome to see guys that I know so well to go to those teams and be so close to those guys. But it's awesome. And we also it's pretty cool. Like all the guys that I met when I was training in Arizona, we all had a group chat. We still have it. Some of the guys still text to this day. And every time someone got drafted, like I think the first guy from Arizona in my training program that got drafted was CJ Henderson to the Jaguars, and everyone just like comment, everyone just like, yeah, CJ, yeah, and like every time somebody got drafted, we're like, yes, sir. So it's so cool, seeing guys like that like to see their dreams come true. It's just so awesome.
Have there been guys in like past years though, or was it really just like this?
Yeah, Larry too.
Oh, okay.
Larry and Nate as well.
So you look at like how do you think, I don't know if you talked to him at all about this, but like how was your draft process impacted differently than his because of like COVID-19 and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different, but just the whole, like I said, the back half, like he had his pro day, I didn't get to have that. And so that was just kind of, I'm glad I had the combine. I'm glad I had a good performance at the combine, because that really set me up to get drafted where I did. And so it was definitely different, because normally I'd be flying out to teams and flying out to see the facility and stuff like that, but I couldn't because of COVID and stuff like that. So it was definitely different. I feel like it's different for everybody. Nobody's been through this. It's the first time for coaches, players in the league. It's the first time for everybody. So it was definitely different for sure.
Yeah, and I think I have a pretty good idea on this because we've had a couple other guys on. But like how much communication have you had with other guys on the team and your coaches and stuff?
Yeah, no, it's been good. That's it's hard to get to know the guys as much, your coaches as much. We just do it through Zoom calls and stuff like that. But I've definitely been in contact with the guys. The teammates I talk to the most probably TJ and Bud. I'm so excited to learn from those guys. Just try to text them and just ask them just advice on different things. But both of those guys, they're two of the best pass rushing duo in the league right now. And so it's just so cool to be able to learn from these guys. And, we went up there a couple weeks ago for, like players only camp. And so it was just so cool to be able to go up there with those guys and learn from them. And just, I learned so much from them within a couple of days. So I'm just so excited to just, continue learning from them. So it's been awesome, but I'm ready to actually meet everybody, ready to meet the coaches and, and the rest of the players as well.
I didn't have this on my notes, but it popped in my head as you were talking about TJ and Bud. I mean, as an edge guy yourself, what is it about those two guys that make them so special? Like, what do you see that they do that makes them so good?
I think it starts with their get off. You can't be a good pass rusher if you don't have a good get off. If you're getting off the ball, so the tackle's going to beat you to your spot. And, you're not going to have a chance to get the quarterback. So it just really starts with the get off, and then TJ, both TJ and Bud just work the edge so well. TJ, has this ghost move that he works all the time on the cross chop. Bud's got a variety of moves as well. Speed to power. His cross chop as well. And so that's what I've really been working. With those guys is kind of just trying to work on some more moves and stuff like that. And so, like I said, I'm excited, when we actually get together, to just be in the film room with those guys and work on them. But it's just I love watching them work. And, it motivates me, to want to get to the quarterback too as well. So, like I said, I'm just so excited, to rush to the patch with those guys.
Right. I feel like I got to share this comment because someone from your alma mater just came in here. They must be in the band there. She said, after seeing you play every game at school, so many people I know wanted you to make it to the NFL. I'm in the marching band at UNCC. Watching you play games is just amazing. We're all happy you're in the NFL now.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Rachel Altman.
Okay.
Okay. So moving along.
She was in the band.
So what are your expectations now going into year one?
Yeah. I have goals set out, and just a lot of expectations for this year. It's definitely different, definitely a different start, from my rookie year than a lot of people. This whole rookie class is going through this right now. But, I just want to go out there and be the best that I can be, the best player that I can be. I just want to go out there and, my goal, is to be the best defensive rookie, win defensive rookie of the year. So, and just also, do whatever I can, whether that's special teams, defense, whenever I get in the game, I just want to do whatever I can, to help bring the 7th championship to the Steel City. So I'm just, I'm so excited to get ready to work. I'm just going to do whatever I can, to be the best that I can be every single day. Just really trust the process, do the little things right, day to day, week to week, month to month, just be the best player I can be.
Has your role with the team, like coming in, been discussed at all on these Zoom meetings or with Coach Tomlin or anything?
Yeah. So, I'm really, probably, I'll play, special teams, be behind Bud and TJ and those guys, just, I'm excited to, special teams is something that I take so much pride in, it's something, that is so important. And, I used to love doing kickoff and punt, when I was in college. And so I'm ready to do those again, in the NFL. So it's just really, I feel like, we're going to be in that special teams role, working in with those guys on defense. So I'm just excited for whatever role I have. Just a blessing to be on this team.
Right.
It's all about opportunity, man. And he's taking advantage of every opportunity he's been given. And that's just ready for it.
Yeah. So Donnie Druin came in again. Were you asked any like weird questions at the combine that you were just like, why are you asking me this?
There were some weird ones. I can't remember. For some reason, every time some people ask me this, I can never like remember which actual question there was, but they definitely were some hard questions that they asked me and some weird ones, but I can't remember which ones they were, but there were definitely some weird ones.
Yeah. In your mind, you're just like, what does this have to do with football?
Yeah, they're trying to mess with your brain, I think, something like that.
Does the number you chose number 56? Does that number have any significance to you, or?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers, that I had to pick between 45 and 56. 56, is the one that I wanted to get. I know that some Steelers greats, like Lamar wore that number. Really one of my favorite defensive. Never watched him play, but Lawrence Taylor, LT, is one of my favorite defensive players of all time. Kind of put it, his too. And so, just seeing, the way he played the game, just wanted to wear that number. It's gonna be awesome. One of our friends, always calls me Baby LT. So just want to live up to that name. So I'm excited to I wanted to have something with 5 in it too, because my Charlotte number was 5, and so just really adding a 6 onto it, but it's an awesome number.
Yeah, it's funny because like I'm obsessed with jersey numbers. I'm weird, and I was like going through and like putting all the possible combinations with your name, and I was like 56 definitely looks the best.
Yeah,
out of the possible ones. So
I love it. I can't wait to actually see it, on me.
Yeah, you should have seen him on draft night Like he was like just texting or like tweeting out just a bunch of jersey combinations and asking fans like which one looks best.
That's awesome.
Oh, well, speaking of, just to like give you a little bit of insight as to what we were doing when you were picked, I remember we were on like our friend was doing like a live stream for the draft. Like we all like cover football and stuff like that. So there's other guys that were doing kind of in the same thing that we do. And I just remember they were like, hey, the Steelers picked Alex Highsmith. We were like, that makes sense. He was on the radar the entire time. Like doing mock drafts, 102, we always picked you there. So
Nice.
Man.
Well, one of my teammates, like, you know, one of my roommates who's a Steelers fan, he was like middle, right, like early part of the third round, and he put pick 102 with the eyes emoji. And then after I got drafted, he like quoted himself, says, "See, I told you." Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. We knew what the picks were before they were announced on TV too.
Yeah,
So we were a little bit ahead.
yeah. Look at them. It was like I'm pretty sure, you know, I got the call like a couple picks ahead. Like I thought I was gonna get the call like just one pick ahead, but you know, I got the call like a couple picks ahead, and so it kind of caught me out of nowhere when I got the call. But that's what made it so cool. It made it so surreal. Yeah.
Did you just see it was a 412 number and you knew it was Pittsburgh?
Yep, it said Cransbury Township, PA. I was like, yes, let's go. I was like, yes.
And I was trying to look over. I was like I think my wife was next to him, and I was beside her, and I was trying to look and see what it was. And I think I asked her, somebody, because he was talking obviously, but somebody said Pennsylvania. Because we knew the Eagles were right after that. So, I mean, honestly, in my mind, I was confident we wanted to.
Yeah, the Eagles were interested in me too.
There was a sports writer out of Philadelphia, Andrew. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but we met him at the Shrine Bowl, and I've kind of followed him. We communicate, we message through Twitter a lot. And actually, I remember after he had the conference call with Gilbert and Tomlin, I messaged him. He said, "Oh, that's a perfect fit for him." So he even said it then. So he even told me that he was really happy for Alex too. That he's a Philly guy, but he was happy for him.
Right.
Was there anything that you had to do like while you were watching the draft to kind of like relax yourself? Because I imagine you're very anxious the whole time.
Day one, I wasn't anxious, you know, because it wasn't going. But day two was like, especially towards like from 80 on, it was very anxious. I was just sitting there. I walked around a little bit, just tried to calm down. But there was a point at times where I was like shaking because I was so nervous and anxious. So, but yeah, like I was so tired. Like I ain't gonna lie, like I probably would have like went to sleep like right as the draft ended if I didn't get drafted that night. But I ended up staying up to like 5 o'clock because I couldn't go to sleep. So, and then I woke up at like 8:30 for a press conference. So I got like no sleep that day. But hey, I was energized and it was awesome.
Yeah, I bet that was like Christmas morning as a little kid.
Oh,
just getting drafted. Even better than that, actually.
I woke up and like, did I just get drafted? Like it was weird. Yeah, it was awesome.
How quickly did that Steelers gear get to you?
I think it came like the Monday or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so they like I had that hat when I got drafted with the fuzzy hair on it, and they sent me a new one. And they put like the video of me getting the hat, which is pretty cool. So like 5 terrible towels and stuff like that. Like it was awesome.
So I'm curious because we were talking about this on that live stream the night that you got drafted. Do you have multiple hats waiting for a team to call you?
Yeah. So originally, I'm pretty sure usually like you get hats like sent to you. But you know, because of COVID, I think only like the first 50 picks got that. So like the first 50, or like the first projected 50 picks, you know, got like a bunch of hats sent to them. And so I didn't get any hats sent to us. And so my dad just went on his Facebook and like asked, just what do you do? Like
pretty much the teams that had talked to him at least a few times, I said, "Hey, we need some hats." And within like 2 days, I had all of them. There were a couple that were a little bit hard to find, and a lot of people said, "I have Steelers." I said, "No, we already have that. We're good." I just put them just the ones I needed, but people still said. And I actually have about 4 of them. I haven't returned them. People just haven't reminded me, and I've been forgetting. So I'll try to get those hats back too.
I got the fuzzy hat from my roommate, the same one who his name's Zach Gilman. He put me to Charlotte, and he's the same one who tweeted pick 102, and he's like, because I went to Charlotte that week. He's like, "Hey, you want this hat? You have a Steelers hat?" I was like, "Nah, I'll take it." He's like, "Dude, the fans are gonna love it." Like, yeah, I think they did.
And funny, I didn't think
awesome.
they would. I was like, "You don't wear that." All right. So,
It's funny how like the hat things work because I used to work at a Lids and there was a kid like in this area that was getting drafted in the MLB draft, and his friend came and bought every team that we had. He ended up getting drafted by a team that we didn't have. So he put on a hat. He put on a Minnesota Twins hat, backwards when he got drafted by the Braves.
What?
Yeah, they just didn't show the back of the hat.
Oh my gosh. But that was awkward.
Yeah,
And
we
then he
did-
came the next day and returned all of them. It was the worst.
And what I did, just as a backup, I at my school I printed some color images of each of the teams that he didn't talk to or he didn't tell me about. So we had him as backup. We were gonna give him that piece of paper. Hey, you put this, show this or something. So we were prepared.
Yeah.
That was unique. You know, obviously a little disappointing not having the hats, but this whole draft and the whole process is so different.
Yeah.
Make it so memorable. I mean, so having to find those hats was fun.
Right.
Yeah, I think the fuzzy hat is a little more special than one that would be sent to you.
Yeah, it is.
It created a moment.
It did. It did. You know,
Yeah, that's still
things Simone always be remembered. You know,
Yeah,
you could just have like that was kind of a unique thing to do. You know.
yeah, because you
Right.
mentioned people like congratulating you on Twitter, like Steeler fans and stuff. They were loving that hat. Like that
Yeah.
that picture
I
was
know they
going
were.
viral amongst Steeler fans.
I know they were. It was awesome.
Okay, so I have two more questions. I need your answers on from both of you, but one last chance for everybody to put the number 56 in the chat. Okay, so what are you most excited for in general coming into year one, whether it be something to do with the fans, the atmosphere, the team itself, whatever it might be?
I'm just excited, you know, to play. You know, I love the game of football. You know, that's why, you know, I'm playing these because I love it that much. You know, so I'm just excited to be able to play on the biggest stage, you know, in the world, and just, you know, also like you said, the fans. You know, I'm excited to, if we can have fans. I'm excited to play in front of the best fan base, you know, in the league, and I'm excited to hear Renegade at the start of the fourth quarter. So, you know, that's what I say. You know, I'm just so excited, you know, just to play ball again. You know, just to be able to, you know, be with the Steelers. So I'm really excited about everything. I don't think there's one thing that I'm most excited about. I'm just really excited about everything.
I say for me is to see him walking out that field with that number 56 the first time. And I'm just so worried and concerned me and my wife might not be able to be there. And we're hoping it'll happen. Hope if nothing else, he'll let family and the organization's family come. That's it for me. I can't wait to see that. I remember seeing a video for last year. The guy played in Alice's conference, plays for the Giants now, Shane Zimenez. I remember him running out for the first practice. He said something like, "This is it, man." He had this Giants jersey on. And I thought about that when I saw that. I was like, God, what's my son going to do the first time he does that? So for me, that's going to be the thing. See him in the uniform.
Yeah, the section that I sit in, my season tickets, like Bud Dupree's family sits there. Javon Hargrave's family sits kind of right there too.
Nice.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, maybe we can. Maybe the Highsmith family will be in there as well.
Oh yeah.
We hope that's the thing, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be, yeah.
Smitty had to flex the season tickets, by the way.
I do on every episode. Yeah, I get caught up on every episode. You mentioned about, you know, people being able to be there, and actually, you know, the shortened preseason, as well as you mentioned earlier. I saw a report today about potentially they're going to roll out, like, show teams a plan for fans to sign waivers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Able to
Yeah,
attend games.
Yeah, so that they could, if they go and get COVID, like they can't sue the NFL or something like that.
But like, what's the trickle down effect there? Because like, what if a fan goes, but then they infect like somebody else at like a Walgreens or something? Like,
Yeah,
did that person then sue? Like what?
that's true. Yeah, that's they got a lot to think about.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, last question. What is your favorite football memory?
It's easy. This past year when we beat Marshall on our senior night, and not only did we beat them on our senior night, but that we beat them and we ended up becoming bowl eligible for the first time in school history. It was you know it was a rainy game. Like it was pouring the whole game. Like there were like not many fans. There were a good amount of fans in the stadium, but it wasn't a packed house. But like it was a crazy game. Like we were going to that game, we were underdogs, and we were 5-5 at the time. So we win this game, you know, we're going to be bowl eligible. And remember just after the game, you know, it was crazy. Like we won, and our fans stormed the field. Like first time ever they've ever done that. All the fans stormed the field. Like no one was stopping them from storming the field. And I remember like we were I was like running around and celebrating people, and I saw like my dad with the phone. He was doing stuff with the phone, like celebrating stuff. I went up and hugged him. It's like true, like probably the best moment, like one of the best moments, you know, that I've had with him. You know, because we just sat there, you know, we were just crying, and it was truly the best moment, you know, of my football career by far. You know, he can probably attest to it as well. It was a night I'll never forget. So it's either that we'll beat Marshall.
Yeah, I was actually trying to find the picture. I'm surprised I didn't save it as a favorite. But it was just kind of cool that I know a lot. I know a lot of people. I love talking to people, so I didn't even rush to get on the field. I'm talking to people in the stands as everyone's rushing the field, and it was raining, and it was just nasty that day. And we were surprised we weren't all sick. And I remember when I finally got out there, talking to people still, but then we kind of made eye contact, and we just ran to each other and hugged. And I just remember saying, all of that work, all of that sacrifice and sweat, all of this for this. I mean, in a lot of ways, that was a different, more special than the draft night was, because we had a really good feeling about the draft situation. We still had never made a bowl game, and all that losing up there was just so hard. And finally, for it to come out that way at home, beat Marshall, and his former head coach, which he got to talk to, and I actually got to say something to him before the game as well. That made it special. And yeah, that was my profile picture for the longest time on Facebook. I eventually had to switch it up with something else, but might be time to bring that one back after the night. So.
Right. Awesome.
That was the first time in school history that they were bowl eligible.
Yep, first time.
That's crazy.
Won and said ball eligible on the big scoreboard. It was great.
Yeah, so that was nice. Right. And the crazy thing, there was still a lot of people in the stands. I mean, and for a team with no history, and those people sacrificed and came out there and stayed in that rain. It would have been a clear day. We'd probably been overcrowded. But I think it was even better that people were there who were there. They really wanted to be there, and they were true fans. So it was cool.
It was awesome.
Good
That
stuff.
is awesome. So I have a question. Do you prefer night or day games?
I like night. Night's like prime time. I like night games. So I can't wait for that. We play the Ravens on Thanksgiving night. It's gonna be epic. I can't wait for that.
That's been brought up on every show. That's the game that Smitty and I are planning on going to together. So
that game will be insane.
And you mentioned before we actually started talking that Color Rush is your favorite jersey.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, and we're both hoping, that they'll wear it during that game.
I'm sure. I hope so, because it's a Thursday night game. It's Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, so I'm sure it's gonna be awesome.
So hope so.
I'll have to maybe that'll be the first game I break out the Color Rush Highsmith for then.
Oh yeah, love that. Yes, sir.
All right, before you go, I need you to pick a number between 1 to 10.
5.
All right, there it is. So whoever the fifth person was, I'll go back and find it. You just won a jersey. But guys, I can't thank you enough for joining us. I come into these things without expectations, but you exceeded the expectations I didn't have. You guys are awesome, and we're super happy to have you guys as part of Steeler Nation.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. It was awesome being on here, and just thank you guys for inviting us and having us on. It was awesome.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. Really, really look forward to that. And I didn't get a chance to say it, but now she just walked by. My wife is really the athlete. I have a lot of natural speed, and I could jump like crazy. My wife, really good athlete in high school. And I told her I'd get an opportunity to say this, and I finally did. And she's embarrassed now, but she was all conference in 2 sports, and I'm gonna mention the other. But yeah,
Yep.
she's legit. She says it's a 1A high school. All conferences, all conference.
Truth.
Which sports?
Softball and volleyball, and she was honorable mention in basketball.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, very well rounded. Alex, did you play? I know you mentioned you played basketball. Did you play other sports besides basketball and football?
Yeah, I played basketball, baseball, and football. So I played 3 of those. I played baseball and football 4 years, but just basketball my senior year. So I played all 3 my senior year.
Okay. Awesome.
Baseball was Pam's favorite. She really probably wanted him to play baseball more. Basketball's my favorite. I think that's why he loved it as a youth, and he didn't get this hype until later. And really, that's probably the only reason he played his senior year. Besides a good athlete, but he grew up. He was up to 6'3", and they needed him with the bulk. He was a really
I was a
good
Dennis Rodman
rebounder.
of the team. I just grabbed rebounds. Probably averaged like 10, 12 rebounds a game.
His
Every
best
team needed one.
we lost in the playoffs. I think the team was either ranked 2 or 3 in the state because we were one of the lower seeds, and he had a double-double that game. I remember he played his best game against his last game's best competition. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Bucket, yeah. That was awesome.
Great
He had a
stuff.
free throw too, right?
Yeah, a couple free throws.
Free throws.
I'm not good at those.
Hey, well, this was the first time we had a father and son duo on our show too.
Nice.
This is awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's why we wanted to do it like this. We just thought it'd be so special to bring both you guys on at the same time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't give a shout out to Drew. Drew always is another one of those who's been pushing me. He wanted me to be in a fantasy football league. I said, nah, that's not there. It would have been too intense.
I think
I'm doing
Drew's still in
video.
here.
I'm not doing that video. His wife's name is
Zaina.
Yes, she's up with them. See, those three, Drew and his wife and Ellie, those are the ones who are probably my closest Twitter fans and friends. I call them friends. Not friends. So I look forward to seeing all of them in person too.
Great
That's
stuff.
awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you so much again for coming on. We will be in touch soon, but you guys are awesome, and thanks for being part of this. And we love having you guys as part of Steeler Nation.
Of course, thank you guys. Can't wait for the season.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Thank you.
See you.
All right.
That was awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That was Alex and Sam Highsmith. And yes, Stubbs is right. Stubbs was the number 5 comment, so Stubbs won the jersey.
Congratulations, Devin.
Should we give it to him? I don't know.
I mean,
Dude,
he
the dude's
won.
rich. He's wealthy now. I mean, I don't know if he needs a jersey. He could buy his own. No, but anyways, that was awesome. I mean, like I said, I don't come into these things with expectations. Everybody's personality is different, but they exceeded the expectations I didn't have for this. So,
Yeah, both very nice. I mean, very humble guys. They're awesome, and I mean, I kind of want to find another father-son duo to do it again, because I mean, that was the first time we've done that, but it was pretty awesome.
But now, see, that's the problem is these guys set the bar. Like, who's going to come on here and live up to this?
You know, maybe you know how we'll have like, say we have a hockey guy on. Hockey guys are known to be bland. Maybe we need their dad with them too, kind of like nudge them, like, hey, talk some more.
Yeah, maybe that's the route to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple other things to talk about. I'm sure this is the part where everybody's going to leave, so we'll see you guys later. If you are staying in here, no, but if you are staying in here,
We appreciate it, first off.
This. Yeah, if you're in here and you didn't subscribe yet, please hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell. We post about 3 videos a week and do our show weekly on here. If you are listening back to this, whether it be Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever it might be, please go to the YouTube and subscribe, hit the notification bell, come be a part of this live. As you can tell, we try to interact with the chat when we can. When we bring guys on, we're not sure how long they're going to stay on for, so it can be tough because if we're limited on questions and time and all these other things, it can play a part. But this, I feel like it worked out perfectly. So this went really well, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I did mention, I think that you guys, anybody listening to this too, if you're listening to this, you probably know who Donnie is. Donnie is part of Around the 412. Him and I do the fantasy football show together. His article with Zach Banner, that interview was phenomenal. I recommend everybody go check it out. We shared it once, we can share it again, but it was really good stuff. So I recommend you go read that. Follow Donnie. Like I said, he's part of Around the 412. We do the fantasy show together. He's a great writer. I'm pretty sure he even added on to his workload now, and he's covering Arizona State now. But anyway, I also need to tell you guys.
Up.
Huh?
Forks up. Yeah.
What's up? I need to tell you guys about one of our special business of the episode, as I've been doing every episode for you guys. So this place is going to be called, and of course it's a restaurant. I mean, why wouldn't it be? I don't want to misspell this, but I had to pick this place because it's a barbecue place and it looked awesome when I was looking at it. Naka, Naka End Zone Barbecue. I believe that's how it's pronounced. So.
An AKA. I mean, I would assume so.
Naka.
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 Naka. I mean, Naka sounds the best, so let's go with that.
We'll go with Naka. All right. So Naka End Zone Barbecue. They are at 1310 Crafton Boulevard in Pittsburgh, PA. Their phone number is 412-875-5522. They're a barbecue place. You can pretty much guess what's going to be on the menu. But if you need some ideas, they got wings, pork ribs, turkey ribs. The size, of course, like greens, chicken rice, coleslaw, green beans, mac and cheese, potato salad, baked beans. And then they have like 10 different desserts. I know you can't see my phone, but I was about to hold it up and I almost dropped my phone anyway. Lemon mousse cake, chocolate mousse cake, sweet potato pie, banana cream cake, strawberry cream cake, caramel crunch cake, chocolate peanut butter cheesecake, Oreo cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake.
I'm not even kidding you.
You can reel me in with just the desserts.
Okay. Everyone who's watching this, You probably just saw me like put my mouth together because my mouth literally salivated.
Yeah. I like when I was going through that, I think once it got to like the cheesecakes, that's where I was like, okay.
Like reading that list to a fat man is not the smartest idea.
Ah, man.
Now I'm just hot and heavy.
No,
right
you
now.
know what though? When you mentioned Pepe's, all of a sudden I was like, wow, it's been a while since I had Pepe's.
I know. I mean, the last time I had it was, I think, February, something like that.
Post Malone.
Yeah, that was it. February 24th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had to throw it in there. We were talking about Permanis, but I was like, I gotta tell him the true secret gem of Pittsburgh.
Tyler Hurnley's in here right now, and he said we need to get Trevor Williams and his dad.
Hey, we will gladly welcome them on.
I mean, it might be kind of tough now because the MLB.
Yeah, they actually have a season now.
Yeah, I gotta shoot Jeff a text and see what's up though. Wonder if he can make some time. But anyway,
always he better make time.
Anyway, we were going to talk about the NHL, but we kind of already started to talk about baseball. Thanks, Tyler. So we might as well just start there. Baseball is tentatively back. We'll see if we can continue on this path now. But if you want to call it spring training or summer training, whatever it might be, their training for the season has ramped up now. The July 23rd and 24th opening days. Are you feeling like, are you starting to get your mojo back? Like baseball's coming back now?
Whenever I saw videos of like guys throwing and like the pictures of Jeff throwing, that's where I was like, okay, this is real. It's actually happening. Because like we've said it for the past two months, really. We're like, we don't think baseball's coming back. If we had to put a bet on it, we're betting it's not coming back. So actually seeing the guys, that's where it's like, okay, this is real. It's happening. We get baseball in like a little over 3 weeks, which is pretty crazy to think about because not even 2 weeks ago, it looked like we weren't even going to have a season.
I am very intrigued to see what the games are going to look like. Do you remember that clip of like Adam Jones for the Orioles when they played that game with the empty stadium?
Yeah.
The announcer was announcing it like it was like a golf match.
Yeah. I mean, according to a lot of Pittsburgh fans, it's going to be like just a normal Pirate fan.
No.
Normal Pirate game.
I hate people, man. The jokes are just so easy, though. I mean,
like I get it; they don't have a high attendance, but it's not zero.
Yeah. Speaking of the Pirates, Edgar Santana suspended 80 games for a performance enhancer. I can see he's probably taking it to try to come back from the Tommy John, right? And it was kind of helping him heal. But it's just amazing to me how many guys continue to take this stuff. Like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, was he?
Did he make a statement?
There was going to be a season, so he's just like, eh.
I mean, possibly. He probably saw what we saw, and we're like, yeah, they're not agreeing with each other. And then he saw that tweet at like 2 a.m. It's like, turns out there's going to be a season. He's like, oh crap.
Well, I'm not playing.
What? So has he made a statement or anything, or like said anything about it? Because there's some circumstances where, I mean, no matter how true it is or not, people might say like, "Oh, we didn't know we were taking that. Like, they were taking something else, and it happened to have that in it." But yeah. I didn't know if it was like one of those cases where he like said something like that, or if he just like flat out was like, "Yeah, I was taking steroids. I was trying to help my arm out." But
yeah, I mean, typically guys will say, "I mean, I knew what I was taking. I didn't know it was banned," or like you just mentioned, I didn't even know what I was taking, which is like in Marte's case. And it's like, dude, you were taking literally the purest form of testosterone.
Wasn't it Nandrolone?
Nandrolone, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing as Canseco.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago, because I was thinking whenever I saw Nesbitt tweet that the article he wrote about the umpire that saved the woman on the bridge was 3 years ago. That same summer was whenever Nesbitt interviewed Herb and I.
Yeah.
For an article about Marte and while we were wearing his jersey.
What the heck?
Yeah, you were. That was whenever that was our first picture is around the 412, actually, I think. Because that was like the first game that we actually like went together, and we hadn't put a podcast out yet, but we had the idea and we made the Twitter page, and we all had Marte jerseys on.
666. We were standing there in a line with 6 jerseys on. That wouldn't even like cross my mind, and then people were like,
What jersey were you wearing? What color?
The Sunday alternate.
Okay. Was Herb wearing that as well? Because he was wearing the Dominican Republic too?
I thought so.
Oh, maybe he was. I don't even remember. I just knew I was. Because Dick's had him on sale for like,
Yeah.
what, $20. So I'm like, all right, that's easy. But yeah, I mean, Edgar Santana, just a stupid decision. But I mean, how big was the role going to be this year anyway?
I don't know. I mean, I like Santana.
So do I. But
with a
I mean,
healthy,
just
I think with a healthy Birdie, I know they really like Birdie. Yeah, he probably would have been like, the 6th inning guy if the starter didn't get through the 6th.
yeah. I mean, it's not like basically what I'm saying is like it's not like we lost like Keona Kella or something like that to steroids.
Or Jeff Hartley. Yeah.
Yeah, or Jeff Hartley. Yeah, and I don't mean to like downplay any professional athlete. It's just some have different roles.
And I mean, it's good that this happened, I guess, in the shortened season. I think that they said due to everything, it can just be this season that he serves the suspension, even though it's supposed to be games and they're only going to play 66 or whatever, or 60.
Well, that's good then.
So yeah. But moving along, if guys are, I guess, high risk or don't, like, guys can opt out. We've seen, I believe, at least 3 guys do it so far. Ryan Zimmerman and Mike Leake both opted out. Ian Desmond also opted out. But I don't know. Did you see like his Instagram post and everything like that? Like he was talking about.
I saw the other 2. I didn't see Desmond.
Yeah, he was talking about like the social injustice in the country and everything like that, and just feeling like it's not the right time to play baseball and he should just be at home and stuff. I mean, I respect his decision. I respect everybody's decision individually. I'm glad that guys can opt out of playing. It's the same in the NBA. What's the NHL doing about it?
I honestly have no clue. I haven't heard anything about players opting out.
Because I mean.
Maybe that's because players. I haven't heard of any player that wanted to opt out in the NHL, but yeah. I'm sure they have something in place where it's like you're not forced to play. But I have no idea.
Right. Might have to look into that. Well, with Ian Desmond being out, the Rockies decided to sign Matt Kemp to take his spot. So I don't know why Yasiel Puig isn't signed yet, but that seemed like that would have been a perfect fit there with that happening.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I remember didn't Pirates fans want Puig?
Him with the altitude there, like I feel like he would mash.
Probably. I mean, look at what it does to what's his name?
Arenado, Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Look at what it does to Arenado.
Yeah, Charlie Blackmon's splits are even worse than Arenado's though, but
yeah.
I don't think people look at him the same way as Arenado. The Mets signed Melky Cabrera.
Yeah.
Well. So, and he's, Sarge actually brought him up to me because of the NL now having the DH. Like the Pirates should just bring him back. I wouldn't have been against it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember her bringing that up. And I saw him on Twitter sad about it, but like, he was fine with the Pirates. He did well. He did his role. It's not like we expect him to be like an everyday guy. But yeah, I mean, we could have had him as a DH, but it sucks that he's with the Mets because we talked about that last year after the season ended. That's one of the guys we would look at re-signing, like out of the guys that were up for free agency.
Yeah, just to like another 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like at his age, not getting anything more than that. And it was magnified the fact that the NL was going to have a DH. Like, oh, this guy could have actually contributed to the team this year. But I think another thing too is when you sign a guy like that. Not necessarily you would trade them, but you're looking at guys that could potentially be trade chips if they do play very well up until then. With this year being the way that it is, like I don't think really anybody's going to get traded. Maybe that played into it as well.
Hey, with the way the season's going, maybe we'll be in first place.
Yeah, true.
You have no idea. It's only 60 games. There's been many years in our lifetime where the Pirates have been in first or second halfway through the season, and then they end up being last.
2011, 2012. If those were 60-game seasons,
hey, we might have won the World Series.
We wouldn't have had to wait till 2013.
I know. Like with 60-game seasons, I mean, you figure that the halfway point in baseball. I mean, they play a little over 80 games, I think, whenever they get to the All-Star break, right? So with a 60-game season, you're looking at the Pirates going to the World Series in those years.
Yeah. Tyler said he's very interested to see how they handle the DH. I think, at least to start, you're probably looking at like Jose Osuna.
Yeah. Counterpoint. Sign Pedro Alvarez.
Hey.
Bring him home.
brand new regime, fresh start. Yeah, getting a DH. I mean,
Like,
don't
listen,
let him anywhere near third or
we
first.
don't say we don't want you to play third. We don't want you to play first. All we want is your bat.
I'm trying to think who else could be. I mean, maybe if Adam Frazier, but he was good at second base last year. But if they wanted to have Newman and Tucker in the lineup,
Yeah,
maybe
I mean, he can hit, David.
If Hayes comes up this year, Moran.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Do you think with the shortened season and stuff, like I truly don't think that Hayes will come up this year.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Shelton said, and Tyler actually just mentioned, but I was going to bring it up anyway, about, I don't know if you saw his statement today about it not really being much of a competition at third base. He expects to see mainly Colin Moran there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't really bode well for Hayes' chances. Well, definitely not to start the season. And with the way things are going to go, I mean, I would think barring injury, yeah, they'll probably just, let him get his work in as part of the taxi squad or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, with a 60-game season, you got to think, like, if he would have came up in June, that's like 60 games right there already. So, I mean, he's not going to – are you laughing at Jason Bay?
Yeah. It's got to be – it's a completely different experience for people that watch this on YouTube live and then listen back to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell everybody that listens back to it to go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification so you know when we're live, because it's more interactive. It's more fun.
It is. Donnie, you're an idiot. But – yeah, what was I saying? I'm so distracted by Jason Bay right now.
You said essentially like if Hayes would have normally come up in June.
Oh, yeah. So that would have already been played, around 60 games played out. So I just don't see a scenario where he would come up unless miraculously, like, all our third basemen get hurt. I just don't think he should come up.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the glove's ready. Like, he'll probably come up and be one of the better defensive third basemen. But it's not like he was killing it with the bat last year. So I definitely think that they want to see more at bats from him in the minors, and he's not going to have the opportunity to do that this season.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Brian Hayes fan, but I don't want to bring him up too early and kind of stunt his growth, stunt his progress, because that's happened to guys where you bring them up too early, they get shelled, or like not get shelled, that's pitchers, but like they just don't do well, and then it affects them long term. But yeah, last year, let's see. So last year in Indy, yeah, he hit for 265, 336 on base percentage, which, I mean, that's not stellar. That you want that to go up, especially at AAA. I mean, if that was the MLB, I'd be more likely to accept that for a rookie. But
and here's another thing: we know they were using juiced baseballs last year at AAA.
Right.
They're going to de-juice them a little bit. I mean, who knows what those numbers would have looked like.
Right. He only had 10 home runs, which, I mean, I don't think Brian Hayes is known for home run hitting, but
I mean, if he comes up here and hits like 15 a season, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're looking for a guy like him, you're looking at his defense, which is stellar. I mean, we already know that. And then you're just looking for a consistent bat in the lineup. You're not looking for a power hitter. So a guy that consistently, I would hope he could consistently hit like above 280. That's what I would set as my expectation for him. I mean, if he could hit above 300 consistently, that would be awesome. I just don't want to put that pressure on him.
On base around 4.
What? On
base percentage around 400.
Oh, I thought you were making like some sort of like variation of our name.
No.
Well, I heard around 4, and I'm like,
yeah. Did his on base percentage around the 412?
No, yeah, on base percentage around 4. That would be really good.
Okay, so moving along, and we got to circle back to football now. Somebody actually mentioned they must have been coming in late, and I don't know if they were just starting because they typed 56 at that point when they first came in. But Devin Stubbs has already won the jersey. Sorry.
Did you see what he just commented?
It was when we like first started talking about, like, right before we started talking about baseball.
Okay.
I was talking about the business. So circling back to the NFL, I will address their question first because they wanted to know like early predictions for what the Steelers end up doing next offseason. I just feel like so many things are up in the air because of, we don't know what's going to happen with the salary cap. I think that the NFL is finding a creative way to still bring in revenue by tarping off the first 6 to 8 rows and letting them advertise on it. So I'm curious to see what role that plays in it, because otherwise I think we were to see the salary cap take a hit. But, now if they are kind of able to stay at least the same or go up, you start talking about priorities. I think first priority should be giving Cam Hayward an extension, and I think that should have happened already. I do not like that he is in his last year of his contract, and you have all these other guys too, like Juju Smith-Schuster you got to pay. TJ's coming up. I mean, he's going to play next year on his 5th-year option. Obviously, Bud was tagged, so he's a free agent again. I think you can pretty much guarantee him leaving. The guy that we just had on the show likely taking that role. I love Bud, but, it's just the way it is, and especially with the salary cap not expected to inflate or anything like that. You got James Conner, but we kind of already talked about that. We expect that, regardless of what he does, and we're rooting for him. Obviously he's a Steeler. It's a great story. He's a local kid. We want him to do well, not just for the team, but also for himself. I mean, at least for me personally, I will always be rooting for him personally, regardless of where he goes. But, it doesn't make sense for the Steelers to hand him a contract. And it wouldn't make sense even with the salary cap going up a lot.
Yeah, I think he could have like a 2,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving season, and they still won't give him a contract. It's just the way it is. We said it so many times, running backs just don't hold value like other positions do. Just because they're so replaceable. It's so easy to find the production elsewhere.
And that's the thing is I am of the mindset of not paying running backs, but not because I don't think that they're valuable. I just think that pretty much there's so many running backs that are valuable. So you can find guys to do things that can contribute to a backfield. It might take 2 or 3 guys to do it, to give you what one of these top backs give you. It'd be nice to have a guy that does it all, but I'm not going to pay, $15 million per season for that when I can pay all these guys rookie contracts and have them each contribute their own little thing to the backfield. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's anomaly guys. We talked about Christian McCaffrey. I think Saquon Barkley is an anomaly back as well. You put him with a better team, even though Christian McCaffrey doesn't play on a great team or anything like that. But, you look at maybe Daniel Jones is the answer. Maybe the Giants do improve their line and we get to see the best version of Saquon Barkley. But I think Saquon Barkley on a better team, is kind of in that same realm as Christian McCaffrey.
And imagine one of those guys on Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like if we have one of those guys, it'd be completely different for them. But I don't want to make it seem like I don't think the running back position has zero value. I just think it's because it's so watered down with how many guys can give you production. That's where it decreases the value of a running back. Like you don't need to pay them that much.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have with James Conner, this being his last year of contract, all our running backs are on rookie contracts, making less money than these top backs do as one guy. So
Stubbs said if he has 2,000 yards, Art Rooney will give him a small ownership in the Steelers.
I mean, they might give him I don't want to say like a Lev Bell contract, but they might have a high dollar amount and just not that much guaranteed on it.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe just short term. Because the biggest thing for James Conner is he just has to stay on the field. He could have 200. He could have 200 rushing yards a game, but if he plays half the season, what's that worth to you?
Yeah, and in games that he played last year, it's not like he was bad. I mean, I know I'm talking fantasy football here, but he averaged more fantasy points per game than Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon's considered this great back in the league.
Yeah, but back to your original point. We were talking about Cam Hayward and why he doesn't have a contract. I don't know the reason. And we know that the Steelers are famous for not signing guys during the season. So if it's not going to happen before this season, you're looking at it happening after this entire season because, the Steelers won't sign him. That's just not what they do. But I don't know why he doesn't have a contract. I know he's 31, 32, but 31. he's still so productive at his position. He's easily a top 5 guy at his position, I would say. So I don't know why he doesn't have a contract. I think he's well worth another 3-year contract.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, do you want to go into next offseason with then having to hand him a new deal and also try to start working on things with TJ? Because do you really want him to play out his 5th-year option and try to re-sign him before he hits unrestricted free agency?
Yeah, and then you mentioned Juju as well. Like, I don't think like there's some people that think Juju's automatically gone. I don't think so. I think they'll try to negotiate with him.
No, I
Um,
mean, I don't think he's at the top of the totem pole, but I think that they definitely want him as part of the future.
yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you've got all these guys that you're lining up to sign. I don't know why you wouldn't just give Hayward a contract when you could give him one right now.
Who knows? As you mentioned, that's not necessarily the Steeler way, but there's always guys that you can make exceptions for.
That's
And,
true.
and also the circumstance, going into next offseason with all the guys that you have hitting free agency. So, the big news in the NFL, though, Cam Newton to the Patriots. We were kind of just talking about this. Are the Patriots dead in the water? Who's their quarterback going to be? We know they have a great coach, but how many wins can he account for to negate the quarterback play if it's not that great? This does change things for me if he's healthy. I think that you look at the way that the AFC East is, and I like the Bills. I might still pick the Bills to win that division by about a game. Now, I think that Cam Newton, though, puts the Patriots in the mix for that division and for a playoff spot if he's healthy.
I agree. I mean, originally, I think you said that the Patriots would finish third. They're definitely finishing at least second now. Literally, the only thing holding them back is Cam Newton's health. If he's healthy, they could potentially go into a playoff spot. If he's not, then you're gonna have to rely on Stidham again. Which, I mean, it is what it is. But that's just another thing. Kind of like how Steeler fans have to question James Conner recently. Cam Newton's has had health issues. So.
Yeah, and this is a guy like I say when healthy because 2018, before that Steeler game, which we talked about earlier with the Highsmiths, he was having a very similar season to the year that he won MVP in 2015. Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He was having like an MVP season.
Yeah, but man, I look at and I hate it personally because I like Cam Newton. I can't root against him personally, but I got to root against him because he plays for the Patriots. Hopefully, it's just for this year. The Patriots, they come out again looking like geniuses. They lose a third-round pick because of the filming thing, and then they sign Cam Newton to this deal where if he balls out and then ends up leaving, they recoup that pick that they just lost in the filming thing. And then if he balls out and stays, you just look at the transition from Tom Brady to a healthy Cam Newton. I mean, they put themselves in a great situation, and it's both scenarios I laid out are him balling out. If he doesn't, you gave him only $7.5 million max. So,
yeah, it's a great situation for the Patriots. And
also, Stubbs, you are no longer eligible for the jersey. Sorry.
Also, I thought the tweet was so funny because of his Instagram post. It's like Bill Belichick nipped that font in the bud real quick.
Yeah.
But did you see those guys from that Boston sports radio host? That is so annoying. There's I hate those fans, like those types of fans.
It's just funny because you can literally put up side by side Cam celebrating, but also Brian McFadden brought up how Tom Brady plays with emotion. Like it's not like he just is like a calm, relaxed guy and just goes about his business. We've seen Tom Brady fired up. The Gronk spike. I mean, I'm sure I could go back and find other instances.
Well, did you see the video of Bill Belichick?
Yeah, that one as well.
Talking about how you're supposed to get excited.
Yeah.
You work this hard to master your craft in the practice in the off season, and then you're working so hard in the games. And of course, if you do something big, you're supposed to be excited. You're supposed to celebrate with your teammates. Your teammates should be excited. I mean, it's even Bill Belichick is allowing you to celebrate. So I really hope that he just goes full Superman, dabs on him, do whatever you want, Cam Newton.
Donnie also mentioned the fact that they do have the tag option for next year in Cam's deal. So
okay, nerd.
Yeah, I remember people were like, "Who the heck is Cam's agent?" But I don't know. I just feel like the Patriots set themselves up perfectly, and it sucks. So
yeah, they're definitely getting at least second in the division now.
Yeah,
pending no injury.
True. The other things in football we kind of ended up bringing up with the Highsmiths. Camp is set to start on time, but we're going to lose the first and fourth preseason games. and the potential waiver for fans that the NFL is talking about. So the guy that covers the Eagles for The Athletic put out an article that I saw, and it was talking about they're rolling out this potential plan, showing it to teams to see what they think about it, as far as having fans sign a waiver to attend games. Now,
Can I just pause you right there? Stop you right there. I brought that up like a month ago, like talking about that idea.
Yeah. And I do want to say, I remember when we kind of talked about like going to a games, I remember like somebody tweeted us and something like that. I do not want to like downplay the pandemic or anything like that. I'm fairly certain that I had this virus at some point. So I feel like I know what these people are going through and what it's like. So no, it's a very serious thing. But
there goes Smitty flexing again.
But what we were saying,
he had coronavirus before all of you.
If that's a flex, I'm never flexing again.
Flexing coronavirus for flexing a season tickets. It's every show.
Yeah, but no, we are taking it very seriously. If I would definitely be willing to wear a mask to a game, social distance. I get that, not full capacity, sign a waiver, whatever you want me to do. I feel like there can be steps taken and a right plan put into place to make this happen. I'm just curious to see if the NFL can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I hope there's fans in any capacity, just because fans are what makes sports great. I mean, the sport itself is awesome, but like the atmosphere of the game is just unmatched to other things. So
yeah,
I just hope that they can figure something out. I mean, the waiver idea is interesting because I literally thought of that with my dad when we were talking before, and then I brought it up on our show. It's just like, if they allow you in, why don't you just like sign a waiver saying like you can't sue them if you get sick? Like, because I mean, there would be so many people that would want to do that because they just want to go to the game. But yeah, I'm still curious as to how even not just football, just hockey, baseball, basketball, how it's all going to work out, because it's all fuzzy until we actually see a game. So when we actually see like a professional game, that'll be an interesting sight.
Well, that's a good point, is because I know that the NFL is going to be relying on, they're going to be watching these leagues that come back and play and see, how they got some time to monitor. The NFL was, not that any league was in like a good position, but they were in the best position out of these leagues. And the fact that they, their season had kind of just ended. The Super Bowl was a month prior to this stuff happening. So yeah, the offseason's been a lot different and everything like that. We know we're losing preseason games now, which I'm completely fine with. Once again, to flex about the season tickets, I'm happy because I'm getting a little bit of money back for not that preseason game that I wouldn't go to anyway. So that's good. But yeah, the NFL has an advantage on these other leagues in being able to watch how these leagues come back and play out.
Yeah, for sure. Because they can, like you said, it's kind of like a how do I phrase this? Like an observe and then take an action yourself.
Yeah.
I don't even know what phrasing to use for that, but they just get the luxury of watching the league, because if something doesn't work, they can change it themselves. And I feel like their sport's different. Well, not so much for baseball, but because baseball's outside, but like NBA and NHL, they're enclosed, which I feel like is a different circumstance for them, because you might be able to have different parameters because you're in an outdoor like facility.
Right.
You're not enclosed.
Very true. It's going to be interesting to see. And what we mentioned, baseball just 3 weeks away. So we don't have to wait that much longer. Actually, 3 weeks away to the day, I'm pretty sure. First, they're saying 24th, 23rd, 24th. So yeah. For some teams, it's 3 weeks exactly.
3 weeks in a day. 20.
Well, the first is almost over, so I'm not even. I'm saying tomorrow.
Okay, fine. But when people are listening to this, it'll be 3 weeks.
True. Okay, so
did you see? Before we move on to hockey, did you see that or baseball, whatever sport we're talking about?
No, hockey's last.
Okay. Well, did you see? Since we're talking about other sports a little bit, did you see that the NBA would like film games, or not film them, but like not be live?
Yeah, that's
prevent swearing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they would have to do the same thing for hockey too, or literally every sport. if there's no fans.
Here's what they should do. ESPN made sure to air a different version of the Michael Jordan documentary on ESPN1 and ESPN2 for people that wanted or didn't want to have the profanity, right?
Mhm.
Just do the exact same thing.
I agree. Because, I mean, it's professional sports. You know you're going to hear it. Even with live TV right now, if you watch like a NHL game or NFL game, I mean, I don't really watch NBA games really, except for like the playoffs. But if you watch those games, you're going to still hear people swearing. Like it just slips through the mic. So, but if there's no fans and you get to hear them like even louder and just like clear, I would totally want to hear what they're saying. So I agree with you. Have two channels that one's profanity and one's not. That'd be so hilarious. It'd be like the series that they put on like HBO where you get to watch the team like on the field or on the ice and stuff like that, where they're all like mic'd up and everything.
I mean, I don't know if a single student that's going to watch ESPN2 without the profanity, but if they want to do it, they want to do it.
Soft.
Okay, so moving along to the NHL, they had 26 players test positive for the virus. I am at the point where I'm just sick of seeing this every single day. Like the guys, like it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. You know, why do we need to know that guys are testing positive like this? If the idea
because they're athletes, that's why they want to tell us. Because I mean, if some random like apartment complex has 26 cases, like it's not going to be news like a NHL team is.
Yeah.
Even though they're just people like us.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just sick of seeing it because I know it's going to happen. They know it's going to happen. You know, if what ends up being is if there's too many cases, they're going to shut it down. You might as well just shut it down. Don't even try to come back.
Yeah, and isn't the camp supposed to start July 8th?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the exact. I thought it was within the next week. So yeah, that's a week.
Yes, so it's in a week. So, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do in camp if like one guy gets sick in camp and they just shutting the whole thing down. Because, I mean, I can see how they could easily justify doing that, but I also think that is a little bit, in my personal opinion, I think that is a little bit unnecessary. However, I mean, they can do what they want. I mean, because you don't know where that dude got it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I think that it's a poor plan that if somebody tests positive, that's what because it's going to happen. So you're pretty much just saying what we expect to happen. If it happens, we're shutting everything down.
Yeah, it seems more like a reflex than an actual plan. It's like a more just like, oh, it happened. Then it's like a quick action. Like they're not even like thinking about it. You can't. It's like. So, I mean, maybe they already do have a plan in place if people start to test positive or like one or two guys do, that they have a different way to run camp or anything like that. Like, we don't know that. But I just hope that it's not just like one guy gets it during camp, you instantly pull the plug on the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Donnie mentioned that he's flex. He met Bill Belichick. We saw that happen at the Senior Bowl this past year. And Tyler said he needs to come on here. He will be coming on here. Well, actually, we want to get him
Bill
back
Belichick.
Yeah, Bill Belichick. No, Donnie. Donnie will be coming back on here very soon. But also, we are in July, and that's when him and I plan to bring back the fantasy football show. So that will be starting up very soon. I got to read this comment. It's a pretty long one. I have tickets I bought from a friend for the Saints preseason game. Only problem is his seats are on FC1, 6 rows from the field. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Oh, Ken. Yeah, what's up, Ken? But yeah, I get to me, like season tickets would be like the first people that they try to take care of. I understand there's teams like the Steelers that have probably more season ticket holders than they are going to have fans in the stadium, at least to start the season. But the season ticket holders have to be the priority there. But at the same time, you know that teams have to keep back a certain amount of tickets for individual sale. And the Steelers actually, I don't know how many teams did this. Steelers only purposefully sold 50% of their normal tickets, individual tickets. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with those people that are in the first 6 to 8 rows. Because if they move back, then people like me are moving back, flex. And then, like, are we moving up into the top or what are we doing? Like, honestly, I'm at the point where I don't care if where I'm at, just get me in the stadium. And also, I don't think I should be paying the same amount, though. So, reimbursement.
And another question I have is so Pitt plays in the same stadium. Are they following the same guidelines that the Steelers are? or is the NCAA setting their own thing?
Well, with the first 6 to 8 rows, it was the NFL was allowing teams to, not that they're mandating that they do. So
Okay.
I don't know but being that they play at the same stadium, I think that the guidelines would follow along with the same thing.
I mean, Pitt basically fills up 6 to 8 rows anyway, so
Yeah, they could benefit from that too.
you hate to see it.
Make it look like, there's more people there because you have that tarp in the first 6 to 8 and then actual
I've said it for years. I mean, I'm a Pitt fan, and I know that Pitt doesn't have a lot of attendance. I mean, it is what it is. But I think that there should be no seating in the top of Heinz Field, like the 500 level.
for
Like,
Pitt.
just have everybody except. I mean, for bigger games, there's an exception. Like if you play like a team like Penn State, Notre Dame, like stuff like that, or like West Virginia will be coming up in a couple years. But like, for like the smaller games or like the weekday games, like just have the top, like not even like sales, because you're not going to fill it to that capacity. Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Have you pitched this plan to the University of Pittsburgh Athletics?
Should I? Maybe I will.
Heather Lyke?
Let me get in contact with Heather Lyke.
So also the salary cap how did we get back to the football? The salary cap for the NHL is expected to remain at $81.5 million over the next 3 seasons. That's not good.
No, because it was looking like a trajectory where like, okay, it went up
Pretty
to
much adding like a $7 million.
Yeah, like we were like adding 81.5 this year. Next year it was looking like it might be like 84 or even more, or maybe a little less, but like it just looked like it was going up like by like 3 million or so every single year. And
well, but with Seattle, when they were saying it was going to double originally. You're frozen on my screen. We're having technical difficulties. I don't know if you guys are seeing me or Tyler. I'm not sure which one you're seeing. All right. Well, I assume Tyler will be coming back in. We were towards the end of the show anyway. It's happened, like 2 of the last 3 shows we've done or something like that. We got to stop going so long, and I think that's the problem. But yeah. So I don't know if I should just wrap up the show myself. I don't know if he's going to rejoin. No, well, real quick, I don't follow college football much. Backyard Brawl isn't every year anymore. I know they're not in the same conference, but that's just crazy. No, yeah, Pitt and West Virginia do not play like they used to, but they have an agreement to restart, I believe, in a couple of years. So that will be cool. Yeah, BC's frozen. Okay, so it wasn't me. So good thing I'm still here. Also, the NFL salary cap is projected to hit $120 million next season before all this. Man, that sucks. 110 to 120. Yeah, so I mean,
Hello?
look at that, and yeah. Hi.
Okay. Hi.
No, yeah.
What were you saying before? What was the last thing I said?
We were talking about the salary cap, and I mentioned like in the NHL. So Seattle, with them coming in, like they were talking about that it would jump potentially like $6 or $7 million. Now it's going to stay the same for like the next 3.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I have no idea where I cut off because Zoom just completely crapped out on me.
Yeah, I thought it was me again because that happened. Like that's happened on 2 of the last 3 episodes now.
Yeah, no, I thought it was you too, and then all of a sudden my program shut, and I'm like, what just happened? But yeah, the salary cap not going up sucks for all teams. It doesn't matter if you're the expansion team or something. Because I don't know if you heard this, but what I was saying beforehand is like, I mean, for a team like the Penguins, you have you added on Zucker's contract. I mean, you have Sherry right now. Maybe you potentially re-sign him, depending on how he does in the playoffs or not. But then you also have Genslow's contract coming back onto the books. Like, and you're gonna have to sign guys like John Marino, and you got Matt Murray and Tristan Jarry as RFAs. I mean, it's going to be very complicated for Jim Rutherford to figure out this money situation.
I thought about this because when I saw that, I thought, like, did COVID-19 just make the Penguins goaltending situation? Like, did they just decide who the goalie's going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing because, I mean, we were talking about this in a group chat a few days ago. We were talking about Matt Murray and Tristan Jarry and
I should say not for this.
what you do in this situation. What's that?
I should have prefaced by saying when I mean deciding the goaltending situation, I meant for the future, not like this playoffs, because I still think it will be Murray for now.
Yeah, I agree. So I think Sullivan wants to be Murray in the playoffs, but like for the future, we were talking about that in the group chat. And I mean, my friends are pretty confident that Murray's gone. And seeing that, like, I guess he wanted like an 8 deal, like 8 years, $8 million. There's no way the Penguins can pay that. And then I also said, like, I also don't want to make Tristan Jarry the automatic number one just because of half a season of number one production. But I mean, if it comes to it where you have to make him the number one because Murray wants too much, I mean, so be it. You can't pay both of them a ton of money. I mean, if Murray's not going to come down off of that contract, you can't. You definitely can't. 8x8 is way too much. There's no way the Penguins could do anywhere close to that.
What goalie has gotten that and like proven that it was worth it?
Yeah, I mean, even like Carey Price, who, I mean, we fully admitted when he was on his game, he was the best goalie in the world by far. But like, he's not lived up to his contract. And I mean, he's got like 7 or 8 more years on his contract. So it's kind of like tough to pay goalies that much, especially when you have other cap issues that you have to deal with.
Donnie, I hate him, dude.
But we were talking about like exploring, like, what if you potentially trade Murray in the offseason? Because you can trade him as an RFA.
Yeah, I mean, what do you really get for him? Like a third?
I mean, would you rather do that or let him walk and get nothing?
No. I'm just saying, yeah, I like the returns probably not much, but yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah, because I think if you're not going to keep him, you might as well trade him, because otherwise you give him a qualifying offer. If he denies it, isn't he a free agent? Is that how that works in the NHL? I think so. So might as well trade him. Which like sucks to say because I like Matt Murray, and I've defended Matt Murray for the years.
And then if he were to decline it and sign somewhere else, we recoup a pick based off what he signs for.
Yeah. So I mean, I like you and I have been Matt Murray defenders because we thought he got too much hate whenever Fleury left, but it just sucks that the Penguins are basically like history repeats itself. You have another goalie. And you can't really pay one of them, so you might as well take the cheaper one.
Yeah. Donnie said, actually, I'm dumb, meant $200 million for the NFL salary cap. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Was at 198, so it'll be interesting to see how much revenue loss affects it. I mean, I think that's why they're doing the tarp on this first 6 to 8 rows. They're saying it's, obviously for fans to not be as close to players and coaches, but I mean, I feel like it's more about the advertising, bringing in revenue. I mean, I think that could potentially bring in more revenue than the fans sitting there would. I don't know. We'll see. Like he said, it'll be interesting to see the numbers. But yeah, teams bring in like $250 million before the season even starts. So yeah, that salary cap should be more like $200 million.
I think we should take an idea from Stubbs and start a GoFundMe to put our ad in tarps in the front row.
Man, I would love to see the numbers on how much that would cost.
It's got to be a ton. I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, the only thing that I know for advertising in football is that like a 30-second ad for the Super Bowl is like $5 million or something like that. So
we need to make a commercial.
A commercial.
Think about it. Have you seen podcasts with commercials before?
No. The first thing I thought of when you said make a commercial is Michael Scott making a commercial for Dunder Mifflin. Like, imagine that's what we'd be making.
Okay, well, the last thing, how wild would it be if the Penguins actually win the first overall pick?
Dog. Okay. I've been going back. I've been going back and forth with this in my head. Like,
But
can
let's
I
lose to the Canadiens and then don't get the number one.
I know, and that's very fair. I get that, but statistically speaking, we have a better chance right now to get the number one than we do to win the Stanley Cup. Like, we have a 5.1% chance to win the Stanley Cup according to odds. I mean, take it what you will, but that's the best stat we have right now. And then we have a 12.5% chance to get Lafreniere, or I think that's how you say it. So, I mean, like, obviously I want the Penguins to win, but listen.
At least for the time being, if they were to lose to the Canadiens, right when they lost, before we knew what that pick was, it would be looked at as like a win-win. Then if they were to not get the number one pick, it would suck. But with you mentioning like the percentages, like 12.5% for the number one pick, if they lose, that is the actual percentage. Like, that number can't be disputed. The 5% or whatever you just said, like that isn't the actual percentage.
That's just like an odds projection. Like, that's not even a real percentage. Like, the Penguins have a 1 in 8 chance of
Sidney
getting
Crosby alone should give them about a 15% chance to win the cup. Regardless, if you and I were his only two teammates, he should have at least a 15% chance to win the cup. So
only one of us can ice skate.
I can ice skate. I can't ice skate backwards.
Oh, okay. So you won't be able, okay.
I'm not playing defense.
Yeah. Dude, but literally, I've been thinking about this a lot since that came out, that they'd have a 12.5% chance. Like, I mean, just imagine if it happened.
Yeah, Donnie said, who would you compare to this year's number one pick? The way people are talking about this kid, like, he would have been number one last year in front of Jack Hughes.
Yeah, for sure. And by a long shot, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, this year the draft starts at pick number 2.
I mean, hold on. Let me just
comparisons? Like,
no, I'm looking up just his stats alone.
Oh.
So I could tell Donnie what they are.
He can look them up on his own time. What is this?
I mean, this kid's ridiculous. Like, I mean, people in juniors were. Obviously he wasn't as good as Sid in juniors, but
no one was.
He's a beast. So this season he played 52 games, had 112 points, 35 goals, 77 assists.
What is that? That's like 2 point something per game.
Yeah, and even in the World Juniors, he played 5 games, had 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Which, I mean, World Juniors, you're going against the best people your age in the world. So, I mean, this dude's a stud. Do I want the Penguins to lose? No. I want them to win as much as possible. However, if they lose to Montreal, I will not be as upset as I was before this announcement happened.
Yeah, true.
That's the best way that I could put it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you really think about it, the odds. So this year, I think who had the Detroit had 24% odds or something to get the
18.
number one. 18?
Yeah.
So they have 18. They were the number one. They were the worst team in the NHL by like 20 points.
Yeah.
And we make playoffs, and we would have made playoffs in the normal format, and we have a 12.5% chance. Are you kidding me?
We have a 12.5% chance if we lose in the first round. Not right as it stands right now.
Yeah. We have a 12.5% chance if we lose.
So they gave a 24% chance to the field.
Okay. Gotcha. But I'm saying, like, the year that the
Flyers
Flyers
have the highest chance of being number one, which is why people are complaining.
What year did the Flyers have the number 2 pick? When did they pick Nolan Patrick?
2017?
I'm not sure. Let me.
Nico Hischier and Nolan Patrick, right? I mean, that's
2017.
Yeah.
Okay. 2017 odds at. I just want to see what their odds at number 1 was.
Oh, would they miss the playoffs by? Like,
not much. I mean, I think they were like 15th or something like that. I mean, I think they had like a 0.something% chance.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm getting at, is that they had a decimal point in front of their number, and we have a 12.5 if we lose in the first round. I mean, it would be crazy if that happened. Imagine Sid, Malkin, and Lafreniere all on this. Like, that's your 1, 2, 3.
Does he play center right away?
I think so.
Maybe. I'm just thinking.
I mean, Jack Hughes did, and I think he's better than Jack Hughes.
Yeah, but he's also on a team that sucks. I would kind of want to have like this kid play with. I don't know. Like they can let him, Jack Hughes, play center, and develop like that because they're not trying to win right now.
Yeah.
Although the Devils apparently did have high aspirations coming into the year, they went and got PK Subban, and I don't know. That obviously didn't go to plan. But anyway,
another team he could end up on is the Oilers.
Yeah, that's kind of been the debate, like which one's more unfair. Like with the Oilers, like they still like he would be with those guys for a lot longer. With the Penguins, that just extends a window that a lot of people thought like we're kind of closing in on.
Yeah, I mean that would be great because obviously you can't predict how good guys are going to be, but it would be so amazing if you got Lafreniere because it basically negates the sucky years that you would have had whenever Sid and Malkin retired. Not that the Penguins are going to be bad, but they're not going to be at the same level that it would be right now. But it kind of negates that a little bit. At least I would think so. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know that I don't want them to lose in the first round. But if it happens, I'll be a little less mad.
And then you have, as you mentioned, him on the third line. Teddy Bluder's the fourth line center. Nobody deeper in hockey.
You're right. Move Jared McCann to a wing, I guess.
I like him better on the wing anyway. I think he's fine as a center. There's just something about it. I like him better on the wing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, except for these playoffs. Play third line center and Nick Bukestad not play.
Kind of has to, yeah. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up. Once again, thanks again to the Highsmiths for coming on. Great conversation. There will be a bunch of clips. If you're listening back to the podcast on whatever platform it might be sure to go to the YouTube and hit subscribe and the notification bell. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, everything that we have. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed and hit the notification bell because we'll post videos on here from this interview and all the other interviews that we do. You'll know when we go live. You'll know when we put up another video. We just dropped another design today for Juju. It's called Slot Machine due to him going back into his natural position in the slot where he absolutely ate in 2018. Very cool design. You can go and get that design or one of our many others. Our designer, Max Bear, has dropped like 5 for us in the past month. He's awesome. He's done Minka actually liked his picture and commented on it yesterday, which was awesome to see. So these guys are recognizing the work that he's putting in. He did those designs for Claypool when he first picked number 11 as well. Very talented guy. If you need any work done, hit him up. On Instagram, it's Bearography. So his last name and then ography. Pretty simple. Also, got to tell you about our sponsor, Cake's Barbershop, located at 180 Brighton Avenue in Rochester, PA. Old-fashioned barbershop, open 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday and 9 to 4 on Saturday. And every Tuesday, of course, he does $5 off for military personnel, first responders, and nurses. I don't know when I need to stop saying it, but he is open again. The barbershop is open. You can go get your haircut. It's appointment only. So download an app called The Cut, and you can make your appointment right on that app. Other than that, it's been Smitty and Tyler, along with the Highsmiths. And we will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.